Hey first graders, today we're going to learn how to strike a ball with the racket upwards. So your objectives for today are going to be to strike a ball with the racket 7 out of 10 times without losing control of it, and you're going to, by the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to tell me the 3 cues that I tell you to use when you're hitting the ball. To start, the 3 cues are flat paddle, stiff wrist, and eye on the ball. So flat paddle means you're going to hold the racket flat like this so that when you're hitting, the ball makes contact on the racket. The next one is stiff wrist. You don't want a loose wrist, because if you have a loose wrist, the ball's going to go flying in all different directions and you won't be able to control it. When you have a stiff wrist, your wrist is flexed and all you're doing, you're moving your shoulder and your elbow, not your wrist, when you're swinging the racket. That's how you're going to hit the ball. And then the third one is eye on the ball. So you got to make sure you're watching the ball where you're hitting it, because when you hit it up, you're going to make contact, the ball's going to go up, so you have to see where it's coming down so you can do it again. And then we're going to have a few partner activities, so you need to keep an eye on the ball. When your partner is hitting the ball to you or throwing the ball to you, you need to be able to see where it's coming so you can hit it right back to your partner. Got it?
Yep.
Alright, first activity we're going to do is we're going to toss the ball up and hit it continuously up, trying not to lose control out of it. So we're just going to go like this.
Oopsie.
So when you're doing this, you want to start with a wide stance. You want your feet to be a little bit wider. You don't want to stand right next to it because it's going to be really hard to control the ball. When you have a wide stance, it gives you more leverage, so that if you do lose control of the ball, you can follow it with your feet and not lose control of it. So if that's a little bit too hard for you, an easier variation would be to put the ball on your racket, grab the handle with both hands, and use 2 hands to hit the ball up. But make sure you're maintaining that stance so that if you do lose control of the ball, you can follow it. If it's too hard, then you're going to start walking. So you're going to drop it, make sure you have enough room around you, and you're going to walk. While not losing control of the ball, you're going to walk in your area. Make sure you don't hit any other students or walk into any other students, buddy. Okay, now it's time for our next activity.
Okay.
Stand right here. Okay. So for our next activity, Zach's going to take the ball and he's going to toss it to me. I'm going to hit it right back to him. And then he's going to get the ball and do it again. We're going to try to do this 10 times for each of us. So go ahead and toss it. And make sure you're thinking of the cues. Flat racket, stiff wrist, eye on the ball.
Ow, that hurt.
Come on. Just like that.
I
On the ball one more time. There we go, one more time. Alright, now it's my turn. Now give me the ball. So now I'm going to toss it to him and he's going to hit it back to me. Try to hit it straight to me and don't hit it too hard. Okay, remember, stiff wrist, flat paddle. Come on, let's go. Ready? Perfect. Let's go again. Do another one just like that. Remember what I told you earlier. When you want to aim, you want to make sure that your racket, the face is facing the person that you're hitting it to. Because if you go like that, that's exactly where the ball is going to go. But if you hit it like this, the ball is going to go that way. All right, let's do this again. Ready? There you go, perfect. Let's move on to our third activity. Our third activity is going to be the partner pass. So I'm going to pass the ball to him and he's going to pass it back to me. And we're going to do our best not to lose control of the ball. Let's go. Ready? It's okay.
Why did you hit it that far? Can't, because you started it.
Okay, I'll start it. Ready? Perfect, just like that. So you're going to try to get as many as you can without losing control.
I wish there was a,
Now we're going to move on to our fourth activity, okay?
we have 4.
So put your racket down. Put your racket down.
I thought you said 3.
You're gonna toss the ball to me, and then I'm gonna smack it down into the ground. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, so toss the ball. Try to toss it a little bit higher, okay? Not too high. A little bit higher than that. Try to hit it like right here, okay? Just like that.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm gonna do that 10 times, and then now it's Zaki's turn.
I'm
Ready,
gonna do.
You're gonna stand right here. I'm gonna toss it to you, and you're gonna smack it down, okay?
You can.
Remember your cues. Flat paddle, stiff wrist, and eye on the ball. It still applies in this situation. The paddle needs to be flat as you hit it at the ground because that's where you want it to go.
Yes.
And your wrist still needs to be stiff because if you go like this, it's gonna go right back into you, or you're just gonna miss the ball completely. So you have to keep your wrist stiff and just smack it down. Ready, Zachary?
I'm good at passing.
Perfect. Try that one more time.
Oh my, perfect.
One more time. Ready? Good job.
Oh my gosh, that almost went over the fence.
Okay, so I got a couple closure questions for y'all. You want to try to answer these questions, buddy?
What?
Come here. I'm gonna ask you questions. So the first question is, do you remember the 3 cues that we use for hitting a ball? Can you Racket? What are the 3 cues? Do you remember?
Flat paddle.
Flat paddle, good job. What's the second one?
Wrist.
Stiff wrist. So you're not flopping your wrist around. You want to use your elbow and your shoulder more than you use your wrist. Do you remember the third one? What do you do with the ball?
Keep your eyes on it.
Good job. So flat paddle, stiff wrist, and eye on the ball. Do you remember what kind of stance you want to use? How do you want to stand when you're doing this? Do you remember?
How I stand?
How did I say we want to stand when we do this? I want to stand with a wide stance. Wide stance. Do you remember why? Why do we need to use a wide stance? It helps us control the ball more. So if we lose control of the ball, it's easier to step forward or step back rather than if we're standing like this and we're just trying to move like that. It's easier if we're standing like
When
this
I
and we
hit
just
it,
go
I
like this.
run and try to hit it, but I don't hit it.